This is Bennington. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Oh, hi.
There is no relation. And quite frankly, I'm not even sure if the next person who describes herself as gender neutral is related to us, but he's using our name, Stanley Bennington.
Sup? I'm starting to feel I really am related. I'm just letting you guys know that. I'm going to get the DNA test out there.
There's DNA all over your pants, so we might as well get started on it now.
There is a mobile DNA truck now in New York City.
Mm-hmm. It's got your picture on the side.
Have you seen this man? Or his seed?
Oh, so creepy. Such a creepy way to start. It's Friday. Friday, everyone. Have a wonderful Friday. It's Friday. You get a new job. We should maybe do like a Fargo version of that. It's Friday and you don't have a job.
It's Friday?
It's Friday and you don't have a job. You've got no place to go.
I'm going to get you high.
Oh, yeah?
On Christ. On Christ, don't you know? And pop. By that, you got to stop the closed eye. It's just freaking me out. Right. I can't begin to tell you how fucking odd and scary looking it is.
You notice it more because we're in such close proximity.
Yeah, I guess so.
We're on top of each other in this room.
And it just melted. You use your own skin to melt down over your... Is it because you can't get your headphones over both ears?
These are pretty tight on my head. It almost hurts me. It's the same reason I can't see 3D movies. The glasses are just crushing my temples.
All right. The one size fits all does not...
No, does not apply to Chris Stanley.
Which means you're outside of all.
Yeah.
But they're saying it fits all human beings.
That one size fits all thing is a load of horse shit. All right.
To you and Shaq. To everybody else is like, oh yes, it does.
I've had to order special size hats because they don't sell 8s in stores. I got to get 7. They only go up to 7 3/4.
8 sounds like a reasonable hat size, though.
It's not. No one buys them. That's why they don't keep them there. I have a giant sweaty head.
Did they have to cut your mom open to pull you out of? Or?
I believe I came out the vagina, as far as I know. As far as
vagina.
Out of her vagina. Oh.
Oh, he yells. Yeah, he yells ooh to that because it's the first non-gay thing he said all morning. But even back in the early 90s, they would have those men's hotels down in the Bella where you would check in for like $5 or $10, and there would just be bunk beds and stuff, and men would be sleeping it off there. Do you know what those places go for now? How many millions of dollars to have that kind of space?
It's crazy. I mean, that whole area, it could not be a richer.
No, it's as wealthy as you could get.
There's one of those hotels left in Chinatown where, and every few years they do a profile on it, where it's just a room and there's not even the walls don't even go to the ceiling. There's just chicken wire, and they just
and
they go in there, and it's just poor bastards cooking on hot plates and it's covered in roaches.
I'm living in Manhattan now.
Oh yeah, for cheap too.
Yeah, for way cheap.
It's a good deal. Great location.
I don't know whether you could even have a men's or women's hotel anymore, and that was a gimme back in the day. Like, don't worry, she's safe. We have her in a women's hotel.
Do they do that with hostels at all? Like, do they?
No. I think you could get sued saying that something is just for one sex. No. You got to let everybody, even the gender neutral people.
Like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look,
you have to respect my transition. If I want to go in that women's hotel, you let me in there.
See, I think you would be offensive to some people, the jokes that you do. They seem to be insensitive.
I'm very sensitive.
Really?
With this giant brain, yeah, I have to be.
That should be other people to say, not you.
Oh, really? I can't declare that?
No, you cannot declare it.
Were people saying that at first? Were they calling them REM?
They were calling them REM, and
scientists were calling them that.
There was a lot of confusion about the REMs. And you know what? That whole Athens, Georgia scene, which was a little bit, well, their sexuality was fluid. Mm-hmm. They, like our own Stanley, were gender neutral.
Yeah. Go either way.
They were before their time with that.
They were before their time, and yet they were exactly of their time. They invented college radio. No one had college radio before that, which was, I believe, the forefather to alt rock, not art rock.
It is quite arty, though.
It is arty, but art rock is actually when you use a paintbrush as a guitar. You know, I always like to say this. There's two kinds of people in the world. People who like art rock and people who don't. I'm one of the people who do. There's two kinds of people in the world. The kinds of people who like the kinds of people in the world premise, and the people who don't. Which are you?
Consider me one of the people who likes the kind of people in the world premise.
Well, there was always, do you ever remember a movie called The Big Chill?
Yes.
Well, the basis for that movie, the writer said, was like you'll meet someone as an adult and you'll be talking and like, oh, I feel like I made a new friend. And then they will say something that will just put a chill through your entire body. And why I've kind of forgotten the movie The Big Chill, I know that feeling that he's talking to,
sure.
That you're like, okay, somebody's kind of got the same background as me, they seem like they could have hung out with me and my friends, and then they just say something so strange that you're freaked, you know. And I do believe in the just two kind of people in the world.
I had that experience just this past weekend at a barbecue. So there's this dude that's like an acquaintance, right? And he's a cool dude, I guess, and he's a friend of friends, and they all love him. And then during the conversation of the barbecue, he says, "Boogie Nights, I hate that movie." And the rage that started building up inside my head at how you can hate. Like, he used the word hate on Boogie Nights, a masterpiece written by a beautiful man named Paul Thomas Anderson.
So that ended everything for you. That was your...
No, I will always judge this person if I see him in any sort of social situation.
Did you express yourself?
Yes, I freaked out and kind of made people feel weird.
I was at a party one time, or kegger, to show you how young I was.
In the woods?
Well, it was actually in a playground on the side of the woods in Linwood, Pennsylvania. A gentleman there said that Wings were better than the Beatles, and I came fairly close to kicking him to death. I just wanted to kick him until he stopped.
That's a very strange take. Well, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that.
Here was the whole premise as people were pulling us apart.
Was he dusted?
No, but that was a good try. See, he had just seen Wings.
Okay.
Paul McCartney and Wings. And he was wearing the T-shirt, and the thrill was there. The thrill was already in his life.
For me, I feel that way when I hear someone say, that Yoko Ono. I think it's a very common thing. Like, people believe that she tore up the Beatles, and they say that she's a bad singer. It really bothers me, and I start to judge that person and think, you don't know a lot about Yoko Ono, do you?
Or John Lennon, for that matter, since that's who he wanted to spend his life with. But see, it's one of those things that you can rest softly in the crowd and no one will say anything to you. Kind of like when you used to be able to say, Al Gore invented the internet, when that premise never even came about. You know what I mean? But you can't act like you're a big John Lennon fan and then think it wasn't up to him what he was going to do with his life, whether he stayed with the Beatles or not. And another premise that always makes me laugh about that is that we seem to love these songs where people say, I will give up everything to be with the girl I love. I'll sleep out in the rain. If she asks for it, I'll walk. I'll climb a mountain. I'll swim an ocean. But the second a dude does that, we hate him. Yeah. But we sing that song.
Bros before hoes, dude.
Yeah.
What?
What world?
Bros before the woman I love.
I remember when my dad said to me, bros before hoes, as he left with his buddies and gave me and my mom the finger. But bros before hoes is just something that you can say. I mean, you've come up with the premise. No one over 17 believes that you pick somebody other than the person that you made a commitment to.
And the bros part is just your drinking buddies who will always be there to fucking have a drink with, as opposed to the woman that will be there for you in the worst times of your life.
Right.
Jesus.
When there's a goiter, that person stays with you, not your bros.
Ew, I don't want to drink near that goiter.
Thank you.
Gross.
We've all said that, too.
Is there open bar at this hospital?
So that's the basic premise of The Big Chill, and there's two different kinds of people. Somebody says something. They make a boogie night statement that appalls you so much that long after the barbecue, as Stanley puts it,
BBQ,
you're still furious.
Yeah, I think about it. I go back to it thinking like, yeah, this guy's a jerk now. And then at the end of the thing, he went, I'm going to go see Avengers: Age of Ultron. It's like, well, you deserve to go see it.
You said it to him?
No,
or just thunk it?
No.
You said it?
No, he said it. He said,
I want you to understand something. Your statement that you just said, did you say that out loud, or did you just think it?
Oh, no, I thought it. It was an ugly scene.
See, he's saying it's an ugly scene, but we don't know whether there was any interaction between him and the Marvel fan. But why is it so important to us that someone likes the same movies and respects the same music? Why is that important?
Well, it's certainly important when you first meet someone. Like, if you've known someone for years, you grew up with them, they can say that they like something stupid or say that they hate something you love, and you're just like, you're an idiot. But if it's a first impression situation, it's a no-go. Because then you're like, then there's no point for me, like, investing any more time.
But no one gets, furious if someone orders an ice cream that, you're never going to go like this. Wait a minute. Did you just say cherry vanilla? When we have 100 different flavors, you fucking pick cherry vanilla. That one doesn't make us upset. Someone puts ketchup on their hot dog, you're not furious with them in the same way as if they just start talking about a band that you find to be hideous.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, why is it that we take that so personal? I guess because you identify yourself with the things that you love. We
believe that's who we are. What was that, the book, High Fidelity? It's a movie, too, High Fidelity, where the guy makes a statement about the things that we like. You know what I mean? Like, the things that we like basically are us. That's the weird thing. Right. I think that happens. But do you, Chris, would you be as offended if you're sitting there talking with someone and they just come out as anti-choice, like women don't have a choice?
I'd be pretty annoyed.
Would it be pretty annoyed? But would you be as angry as you were on the same level as when they said something about P.T. Anderson?
No. The P.T. Anderson would get me angrier in conversation. If it was just in conversation, I'm talking to a person.
See, I've come up against some people that, and I try no longer to be that way, but some of the hot button political issues, and all of a sudden I'll find myself debating that person rather than being in the early stages of a friendship.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's over. Yeah,
there's tons of things that I would do.
And I also see them look at me like I'm disgusting.
Right. Well, I guess it's awkward when they're not putting that judgment on you. Like, oh, you can have that political view, and I'll just talk to you, and you're like, conversation over. We're fucking done.
One and done. That's where our friendship has gone now.
You know what I do this with as well is if I meet someone and they seem to think someone is funny, like in the room that is not funny, then I'm like, all right, I'm not going to direct any attention at you, because if you're laughing at that guy, you're probably an idiot.
Yeah, or they're laughing about if they're laughing about a weak person, you know what I mean? Like if they're acting like we're all adults, but they act like someone's the dork of the room. You know what I mean? You're just like, shut up. You know?
We're 30.
Yes.
Good God, just make your own decisions and let him go. This is what he likes.
Don't act like, seriously, don't act like that person, we all can't be sitting at the same table. Like we're all going to be judged. Because if someone's fucking judgmental because you're eating food next to the dork, they're the fucking dork. Get out of high school.
What if someone says they like Jar Jar Binks?
I have no problem with that. I mean, I'm more weirded out that they say they like Star Wars that much, which I have to put up with all the time. Like, there's a thing going around now, I don't know whether you saw it, but Colin Hanks wrote up this thing about explaining to his daughter why there aren't more girls in Star Wars and how we need them. I guess she's young. All I've seen of it is the headlines. But I would just say this. Explain that you're the Hanks family and that you're actually in show business.
You're never going to have a bad day, honey, ever.
But really, I don't know why we're down to this point where there's not enough girl role models, supermodels for her. Instead of just saying, there's too many fucking asshole super fucking hero role models for boys.
Yeah, if you're looking for your female role models in Star Wars, you're going to have a bad time. That's not where you're going to find them.
Plus, I think Chewbacca's a girl.
Really? You think so?
Why not?
Well, we've never seen his penis.
Her penis.
Or her vagina.
You'd think it would have poked out like a dog's penis would.
Right.
He must have gotten kind of, excited during some of those fights.
That's disgusting.
Why?
You've taken it to a weird fucking place.
All right.
Instead of just sitting here, thinking people get hard or wet during a spaceship fight. You're my big chill. You are. If anyone likes Stanley, I don't understand you because he's so aggravating.
I had another big chill moment. I just remembered. It was.
Let me guess. When somebody didn't want you to smoke in their apartment.
No, I was out. But that counts too.
That counts.
I had to go outside for this, but I was out to dinner and some dude ordered a steak well done, and I agree. I was like, "What? I
can't be friends with that person."
I was like, audibly, like at the table, and I was like embarrassed because the fucking waiter was there, and he just like looked at him weirdly. Like everyone was like weirded out, like you're. And then he asked for A1 sauce. And then I haven't fucking seen this dude in the 6 months since. It's over. I'm never going out to dinner with the person again.
It's an interesting point that you bring up. Can you hang out with someone who takes a lovely piece of meat and asks for it to become boot leather and then pours fucking A1 sauce on it?
I've been out to eat with somebody who not only asked for a steak well done, but then said to the server, "It's a little dry."
Oh. Yes, that's how you ordered it, you fuckhead.
And you could see that the server was like, yeah, I'm sorry. Because, you don't have a solution at this point.
There isn't a solution.
We can't undry that for you. You asked for it.
Well done means tasteless, without taste.
Suck the flavor out, please. Thanks. I'll pay $50 for this. Good evening.
Actually, do you have some beef jerky? That's what I want.
Oh, and could you also rub the potatoes in your armpits and then put them down on the plate? Put your nuts on it, too. Put your nuts on the plate. Because I just want everything to be weird and gross. That is crazy. I don't know how you stayed at the table.
I was really, really offended and embarrassed, and I just felt bad.
What were you drinking? I was drinking
wine.
Oh.
Right in their face. That's where it should have went.
Should have, yeah.
And then you take off your glove and slap them. Your fencing glove.
You've made me look like an idiot in front of this waiter, sir.
I said good day.
I said good day, sir. I don't understand. I guess they had bad moms or something growing up, that they would want their food tasteless.
I would imagine that it's just people who get skeeved out that meat is from an animal, so they don't want any memory of
be a vegan then.
Bloody food. I think I'm guessing that's where they come from, because it can't be because of taste. You know what I would say? It can't be.
Why I eat my steak? Sunday, bloody Sunday. By the way, have you noticed that's become another dividing point for people. U2. They used to be the biggest band in the world, and were accepted that way. And then the backlash came, and now you could be at a party and somebody will just say something about U2.
Look, U2 is a great band. It's because of Bono. People just got an opinion on Bono, and so they
because saving Africa is such an awful thing.
He's a douche.
How is that being an asshole? Shut up and sing. Really? That's what you're fucking saying.
Your early stuff, like we want.
Your 1986 classic where you sang about love and saving people and caring, not actually talking about those things.
I can't remember the last time I heard someone defend U2. Like, oh, I actually kind of like U2.
I'll be the guy then. I do like U2. Me and Jimmy Fallon stand with them. Here's my biggest problem with U2, and this can happen for any performer. Well, I'll move it off U2 so we can do that. But Bruce Springsteen here in this area, I like Bruce Springsteen. I've listened to him my whole life. But there is a fan that is so outrageously intense about him, or Billy Joel, you know what I mean, in this area, that can make you start and say bad things about the person.
I never had an opinion on Bruce Springsteen. I never listened to him, ever. I just never listened to Bruce Springsteen. Until I started working here, I started to dislike Bruce Springsteen.
Because so many people at SiriusXM only listen to Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, there's a lot of super fans.
So if there's any album that's not Springsteen, they're upset. Or if they won't go to any show but a Springsteen. And Springsteen likes music. This guy who you idolize so much loves music and loves other bands. So don't act like it, like he said, look, everybody, if you listen to anyone else, you're cheating on me, and I don't like you. That would be, in their head, that's what they hear.
I think Bruce can hear this CD player.
And we have a lot of people in SiriusXM that are Bruce-only Jersey people.
What are other things that you're a fan of, but you're embarrassed to be among the fans of? Because I had this happen to me once before. I found out that at a young age, that people who liked Monty Python and like sketch comedy, like especially like older sketch comedy, were all like the dorkiest people. Like it was like almost like young comedy nerds.
Right.
And I was like, oh, like I don't want to be in this crowd, but I do enjoy these things.
Well, I don't even like anyone. You know, that whole Ivy League comedy nerd thing, I find it to be sad because you're not being funny yourself. You're studying the mathematics of laughter and then trying to recreate it into this fucking carbon copied thing of it. Instead of doing it the way you're supposed to, stand on a street corner and say these things without getting hit in the face. That's an actual funny person. That's where comedy should come from. But I would think the fans of any band can annoy you. The Phish fans have turned people off of Phish. Grateful Dead fans have turned people off the Grateful Dead. The Dave Matthews Band have made me say bad things about that band when I don't even know enough about them to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to say that. Those are all musicians that are terrific musicians. There's no reason to take shots at that band. But their fucking fans drive you nuts.
But even amongst the different fan bases, they talk like the Dave Matthews Band fans will talk shit about the Phish fans, and the Phish fans will talk shit about the Dave Matthews Band. And the crossover is fucking big, and it's like crunchy bros, you know, just like dudes just a lot of just going out there getting messed up and just going to see jam bands.
But do they all like the Grateful Dead?
Yeah, they all like the Grateful Dead. Yeah.
Those fans can be pretty annoying, and you know. It says nothing about the band itself.
No. Grateful Dead was actually... couldn't shake those fucking people and try to think of ways to stop having people sleep in the parking lot and sell massive quantities of drugs and get everybody in trouble. Because they just wanted to go out and play. Yeah. They just wanted to play like any other band.
And then it became a caravan.
They were like, you don't understand. We want to tour to play in front of new people. Right. And you're getting mad at us for selling tickets in different cities instead of to you first. Or even more weird, giving you the tickets because you sleep in the parking lot.
Need a miracle.
Oh, God.
This guy a miracle for me, bro.
So strange.
It's a weird scene. And Phish was getting like that before they broke up the first time.
I guarantee you that's why they broke up, too. They could not have people just fucking sleeping out all the time.
Going on, and a bunch of people I know like going on Phish tour, going to follow them to every single city this year. Going to quit my job. Like, what? But it's just, they're going to go on another tour. You can catch more shows.
They want to be at every show. And then while you're at a show, they're talking about shows that you missed.
Oh, God, it's
or
awful.
Somehow, like, when we did that Springsteen thing at Harlem, people were sitting around mathematically saying the number of the shows. So they were acting like people who went to 58 shows were somehow really not into the band.
Right.
Dude, I had that same shit at Phish shows where it's like, all right, so I've been to like a couple dozen shows, and the guy's like, I've been to like 200, and they were looking down on me and made me feel bad. I was like in the front row.
Why would you feel bad?
Oh, because the guy was like, I was like talking to the guy, and then it came up how many shows you've been to, and I say, he's like, no, dude. And then the guy stopped talking to me. Like, he gave me the cold shoulder.
I kind of don't even want to talk to you.
No, please.
It doesn't feel like you've been to enough Phish shows to me.
Whatever. I've listened to plenty of albums.
That's the big chill for him when he found out that you'd only gone for a couple dozen.
Oh, good.
It doesn't make you a new fan either. It just means that you're not,
ridiculous.
obsessive.
Dedicated my life to just not having any relationships other than with a band that doesn't even know me. I just show up to where they are.
The funny thing is the Phish fans aren't even like a young crowd either. Like, they're older people who follow them. Like, don't you have anything else to do?
Yeah, well, I mean, to be around the entire time, you'd have to be well into your 40s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be that person who was there when the band started, and you follow them around, and you don't give up, and you're just talking about some fucking guitar solo that you heard in
Melted my face, bro. Melted my
You're
face.
like, geez, well, I don't know how to tell you this, but there's so much other music you could be enjoying that you're missing out on.
You've missed out so much of life.